Hi everybody, my name is Jeff Pinkman. Welcome back to the Academy. Today I want to talk about 4 aspects of hitting that you really want to ignore when you are stepping up to the plate, when you're practicing, when you're in the cage, when you're on the tee. These are aspects of hitting that coaches talk about all the time that really aren't true. And what I'm going to do is, after I get done chit-chatting here for a second, I'm going to flip the video camera around. I'm going to show you some of the real-life things that hitters are doing constantly throughout the course of what they do on the field. I've got video of Derek Jeter, of Anthony Rendon, of Andrew McCutchen, and I want to share with you a little bit about what's going on. First, I want you to please make sure you check us out at pinkmanbaseball.com. You can follow us on Twitter at pinkmanbaseball. We are also on Facebook. So, we really appreciate if you have questions or you want to check us out. Please visit those sites, and we can answer your questions or look forward to you looking for more information about what we're doing. So the 4 aspects I want to talk about today, 1 is squishing the bug, 2, swinging down on the ball, 3, hitting the top half of the ball, and 4, the front shoulder flying open. And each one of these isms, or coach speak terms, are constantly talked throughout the course of history, and really make absolutely no sense as to why people actually want to be doing them. Especially once you actually start to see the video, things will really come to light and make a lot more sense. Now, the first one, squishing the bug. As we really talk about why coaches want to talk about squishing the bug, turning and pivoting that back foot, sure, it makes a lot of good sense as to why guys want to do it, because, hey, it gets the hips turning, gets the body turning. But what we're really reinforcing is the fact that coaches are handicapping players by keeping their back foot down, by keeping their weight back, and not allowing them to transfer or to spiral their energy upwards through the ball, through their body, into the ball. And it has never really made much sense. And once I show you the video, it's going to make even more sense as to why we don't want to be squishing the bug any longer. 2, swinging down on the ball. Now, the only time that swinging down on the baseball is any good is if you really just want to hit the ball on the ground. Most players who come in and see us here at the Academy are tired of hitting the ball on the ground. They're tired of hitting the ball to the right side of the field as right-handed hitters. And so swinging down does them absolutely zero good. And one of the things, when you take a look again at the video, you see that Major League hitters, college hitters, and even high school hitters that are hitting right next door to us, not a single one of them is swinging down. And the reason is because the ones that swing down end up not moving on to the next level. It's the players that actually either swing on the plane of the pitch or swing up through the ball, end up moving on. And there's a reason for that, because they usually end up hitting the ball more consistently. They either end up hitting the ball with more distance, and they overall get more power by matching the plane of their swing with the plane of the pitch. Number 3, hitting the top half of the ball. This kind of goes with swinging down on the ball, but why would you want to hit the top half of the ball? It doesn't make any sense as to, if you're trying to hit the ball out of the infield, if you're trying to hit the ball as hard as you can, as far as you can, hitting the top half of the ball, again, doesn't really kind of compute with when you take a look at the best of the best in the game. The last one, the front shoulder flying open. This one has always been a very curious aspect of hitting to me, mainly because when you go to swing, when you actually put the bat in your hands, it's really impossible for that front shoulder to actually fly open, because you have both hands hanging onto the bat. And what I want to show you on the film is the reason why that front shoulder appears to be flying open, but is not the fix. You can't physically keep that front shoulder from flying open if that back shoulder is also moving. So let me turn the camera around here, and we'll take a look. And the first have up here right now, this is Derek Jeter, and this is a swing from, sure, it's from a while back, but as you take a look, he's hitting the ball. He's hitting a nice hard line drive, one hopper down the right field line. And here we're using our JC video analyzer. And the first thing we want to talk about is squishing the bug. When you take a look at Derek Jeter, and as he's coming through to contact, or take a look at any Major League ball player, as they come through, that back foot is clearly standing up on the tiptoe. We see that knee driving forward, we see the hips turning, we see that front leg straightening out, and as he comes through to make contact with the ball, we see how he's up on that toe, he drives through the ball, and then he ends up kind of sitting back on it. Let's take a look at another clip here. We take a look at Anthony Rendon. And when Anthony Rendon comes through again, as he turns, you see how high up on that tiptoe that he's able to now turn and drive, and he drives that knee in. He allows his body to rotate. And the reason why that back foot is able to get up as high on the tiptoe as possible is mainly because that front leg is pushing off and pushing the front hip backwards. That back knee is driving in, driving the back knee forward. And then as he comes through to hit the ball, then he ends up sitting down on that back foot again. Anthony Rendon here ended up hitting the ball right down the right field line for a double, basically. Let's take a look here at Andrew McCutchen. We see at foot strike, as he's coming through, that back knee drives in, that front leg then straightens out as he turns. We take a look at this one, and a la Bryce Harper, a la Babe Ruth, we can see how, you know, the back foot clearly not squishing the bug, but as he's coming through, that back foot off the ground, sending his energy from his back foot to his knees, to his hips, and then rotating up as he comes through to make contact with the ball. The ball that he hit here was actually a home run into left of center field against the Nationals. So now, as we take a look again at all three of these swings, one was a ground ball to the right side of the field, one was a line drive double down the right field line, and this one here we see Andrew McCutchen hitting the ball and hitting the ball into left of center field. Now, as we see where he's beginning, as he gets to foot strike, we see the hands around shoulder height. Now he turns, and as he turns through, we see how his hands are staying up in front of his chest. We see that the bat is getting to the ball, not his hands. He's not throwing his hands. He's not extending anything. He's just turning his body, keeping everything nice and tight, so that now as he gets to the ball, he can elevate and come through the ball and point the bat in the direction of where the ball's going. We can see Anthony Rendon do the exact same thing. So as he gets here to foot strike, he's able to now keep the bat. Notice how tight the bat is against his body. That back elbow is tight, the front elbow is nice and flexed. Now as he turns to make contact, he's able to now elevate and come through. Not a single one of these guys swinging down, not a single one of them thinking of trying to hit the top half of the ball. In fact, it looks like Rendon here, as he's making contact, hitting more the backside to the bottom side of the ball. Next, we can see Derek Jeter as he's coming through. And as he now rotates on through, again, that back elbow tucked, that front elbow nice and bent, elevated. The bat looks like it's just about against his body. Now as he comes through, we see contact and we see that elevation. Zero swinging down through the ball. We can also kind of tie this into hitting the top half of the ball as well. We see that contact. We see the backside of the baseball as he now extends up and through the ball. We see McCutchen, the same thing, hitting the backside to the bottom of the ball, which would allow the ball to now lift up and fly out of the infield. And again, we see the same thing here with Anthony Rendon, the backside to the bottom of the ball, which creates that elevation and that lift. So next, the last thing we want to talk about, that front shoulder flying open. This is one of those things that really I think has mystified a lot of people, and when you really take a look at what's going on with that front elbow there, the front elbow staying flexed and staying bent here, keeping everything connected, keeping the bat connected. We can see everyone here from Andrew McCutchen to Anthony Rendon as they get into this, I would say, bat lag position, we see how this back elbow, the back elbow is against the side. Oops, let's do that again. But this front elbow is nice and flexed, almost making a box with the shoulders, with that front elbow, putting the bat, creating that bat lag position. And the best way, I would say, to prevent the front shoulder from flying open is to keep that front elbow nice and flexed as everyone gets into that bat lag position all the way through contact. If that elbow is straightened against the body at any one time as the swing begins, it's always going to appear that that front shoulder is flying open, creating a much longer swing, looking like players are flying out or flying open, pulling the bat across their body. And one of the awesome things about video and looking at the best of the best in the game is that you can always gonna really see, and this can be done even with a DVR when you're at home. That's how I got these clips. I was able just to record them, plug my camera in, put them onto my camera, and from that point on, I was able to get these extra slow motion footage of these hitters. And just one of these awesome things is that if your hitters are not getting into this front arm flexed position, in this bat lag position, that front shoulder is always going to appear like it's flying open. So, it's one of those little things that we can take a look at, but at the same time, you always want to make sure that you're examining every little bit and piece of the pie as you go along and start looking at things. So, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Again, my name is Jeff Pinkman. I run the Pinkman Baseball Academy here in Northern Virginia. We are a family-run operation. My father, John, my brother, Pat, who is the Fordham University pitching coach. We've been doing this now for over 20 years and have a lot to offer players and coaches and anyone who's willing to learn and kind of stick with us, ask questions, and have an open mind about lots of different things that are going on. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send us an email to info@pinkman.us. You can tweet us at Pinkman Baseball, or even kind of leave a question on our Facebook page. So appreciate the time that everyone spent watching with us today, and we look forward to talking to you again sometime soon. Take care.